Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Keith Condensed. Today, we are going to be getting into Starbucks is expecting some massive growth in China, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the actual article. So if you look on the screen here, you got a Yahoo Finance article written by Beth. Actually, I believe it's from Fortune, huh? They talk about, first of all, China and Starbucks. China is over in Starbucks, correct? And they talk about how 60% of Starbucks, of the money that Starbucks, the transactions, I guess they're coming through Starbucks, are actually digital compared to the United States, which is only 40%. So 60% to 40%. And that's through a partnership with Alibaba. This is like one of the largest like mobile payments and digital payments we've seen like pretty much across all like food platforms. And so it's very interesting in here, the actual article, the CEO says like, we're not really interested in getting into digital payment processing. We don't really want to touch that. We'll leave that up to these other companies. It would be something that we might look into getting into, but really Starbucks wants to stick to its core business, which is delivering high quality coffee. In August, the company actually announced a plan to move strategically with their partner Alibaba and to use artificial technology to, I guess, integrate that into their retail brick and mortar stores. And it will be interesting how they go about making that happen. I assume that it'll be a lot of what is sold at their store versus what is not sold at the store. However, here's the interesting thing about that. Something that maybe they don't consider is that, even though they have a whole bunch of options, if they only had one option, by cutting down options, maybe people would not consider going there anymore. So it's very interesting to maybe think like, are they going to be carrying less products? Are they going to only be carrying certain drinks here at one store versus another store? Like, are you going to get very, very specified Starbuckses? And honestly, if that was the case, I feel like that would be a grapple back into their small town mom and pop coffee shop atmosphere that they had in like 2008 and prior to that. For those of you guys that didn't know, Starbucks actually started in China in 1998, so 20 years ago. But they basically did a joint partnership with another company over there, and most recently just purchased the rest of that Starbucks China for $1 billion. So now they own and operate another 3,500 stores. Kind of like the reason why they went this route is basically to be built in China for China, like not specifically like trying to bring in U.S. influence into the Chinese market. They have had some interesting trials trying to bring a more tea drinking culture into and converting them over into drinking the espresso, the coffee grounds. Well, you don't really drink coffee grounds, but anyways, coffee. And so it'll be interesting what happens moving forward over the next few years. They said in regards to the tariffs talk, that like the tariffs and that kind of stuff, they said it really doesn't affect their business all that much from what they've seen. However, the CEO says in here, this is a really long game for them. It's not something that is short by any means. And so over the next basically 5 years, they plan on opening up 600 stores each year, which honestly is almost like one store every 12 hours. And it's like, oh my gosh, like my mind is blown. So I feel like Starbucks specifically is really, really betting and taking a gamble on the Chinese market. And we'll see what happens in the next 5 years. It would be really, really stellar to see Starbucks capturing the same amount of growth or less growth than what they had in the United States over the last 10 to 20 years and capturing the same exact growth in China while still maintaining the same market that they have here in the United States. I would be very, very interested to see what happens with Starbucks over the next 10 years as far as the Chinese market and then also developing more specifically into the U.S. market and worldwide. We shall see what happens moving forward with them. I'm just really excited to see that Starbucks is still trying to fit in and weasel their way into that growth stock. Anyways, I would love to know your thoughts about Starbucks. What do you guys think? Do you think that China is the answer for Starbucks moving forward? Do you think that they should maybe consider pulling back from the Chinese market and look at another market, or maybe just kind of restructure their whole business and maybe go down processing transactions or something like that? I would love to know your thoughts in comments down in the comments section. Until next time, it's your boy, Coach Keith. Peace out.